who scores the back post with a great header. It's a fantastic goal for the Bibs. Unbelievable as it falls to the back of the Union bag. Fantastic goal as Cowan runs away to celebrate with Matt Southall. Slaps hands in the air. What a fantastic Whoa! What a strike by Allman. Straight away from 25 yards and straight into the top corner. What an unbelievable shot to give the non-Bibs a lead. What a stunning save by Mark Edge. He leapt into the air and palmed it away with the edge of his fingertips. He can't have anything left on his nails by that one.
You're listening to the AFL Podcast.
Brought to you in association with Lakeside Fish Bar, where the only thing that gets battered on a Friday night is the fish.
This is the AFL.
Coming up in this week's show, we take a look back at all of the controversial action from the AFL this week, including talking to some of the players about their thoughts on the action. We get to find out what caused Karen to say this.
Didn't see the incident.
Also, we launch our new interactive game, Patrick Hero, in which we ask you to predict the scores of 3 local games, with a great prize and offer for the winner. We have not 1, but 2 fantastic player profiles in the AFL to show you this week, sure to make a comical listen. We take a look at some of the rules of football. This week we're looking at the highly topical rule of handball. You will never be confused ever again about what and what isn't a handball. And finally, in this jam-packed show, have you ever wondered what an AFL footballer gets up to when they finish the big match? Well, wonder no more, as we find out what caused an AFL footballer to say,
Stretch out the leg.
all this and much, much more coming up in this edition of the AFL Official Podcast. Neg. It was a fantastic evening at the AFL with the best attendance of the season, seeing 11v11 taking place as the Bibs once again face the non-Bibs in a battle of all-out supremacy on a Tuesday evening. This evening, though, was an entertaining one for the wrong reasons, and we'll come to the controversial issue later in the game. The game saw the Bibs fielding a strong defensive lineup, with Crofty, Cowan and Bowyer all forming for the Bibs, where the non-Bibs faced the supreme battle of facing the striker known as the Beast, Phil. But let's get on with the action. It was actually a shock lead that the non-Bibs took. They went 2-0 up with 2 defensive mistakes, gifting the goals to Tofty, who just tapped them in for fun. But then controversy struck. Austin believed that the ball had touched Nick Bater on the way to cross the byline. However, Nick Bater was adamant this was not the case. Lo and behold, a corner was taken. Austin drilled it in deep to the back post. The ball ricocheted around before being banged into the back of the onion bag to give the Bibs a goal back. 1-2 the score read, and it was this point now the non-Bibs capitulated. We saw a second goal go in for the Bibs, and then they ran riot. They kept banging them in for fun. Big Phil was running around like a headless chicken, still unable to tuck away anything from the onion bag. However, the score at 5-2 was looking like a fairly comprehensive victory, before Simon Edge made a goalkeeping mistake to fumble the ball at the feet of a non-Bib who tapped it in to make it 5-3. It was game on. Excitement was building. The controversy. There was still a little bit of banter in the air regarding the corner/non-corner gates that we had going on. But then, once again, the Bibs raised their game. Influential players, balls being flung across the box. Crofty, Cowan, Austin, all creating amazing chances. Chris Goodger running wild down the wing, and Sammy Bowyer lapping up in defence. Simon Edge made some cracking saves at the back to keep them in the game. But Big Phil was still unable to slide in at the back post and tap in the most amazing chance that he had to claim the glory. Right at the end of the game, a ball was squared across the box. All he had to do was tap it in, and lo and behold, he couldn't get there. His little legs would not carry him through. But at the end of the game, The scoreline read Bibs 9, non-Bibs 3. A very comprehensive game, but also a cracking game that saw 11 versus 11. It was 16 degrees outside, cloudy but mild evening. Overall enjoyable. Let's see what the players thought. At the end of that exciting game, we decided to catch up with some of the players to see what they thought. Here is a selection of their thoughts from the end of the game. Notice the comments regarding the controversial issue that we talked about before, regarding Nick Bater and Austin on did the ball go over the line? Definitely Cornergate. Richard Cowan kept his thoughts very close to his chest.
What are your thoughts of that game then, Mr. Cowan?
Didn't see the incident.
What incident was that?
No comment.
Okay, right. Pleased with the win though?
Thrilled. Good team performance.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Cowan, for that one. Mr. Edge, what did you make of that game? He's walking away. Is that no comment, Mr. Edge? Is that a losing comment? Podcast, let's get your thoughts on that game. Tom.
Well, it was a good game of football. It was very even sides. It looked very one-sided at the start of the game. A couple of debatable calls, Nick Bater and Austin. A contentious corner decision that did dominate tonight's proceedings. But all in all, another good game for the AFL, and we'll reconvene next week at 8 p.m.
Thank you, Tom. You had a very good game. Well done.
All the best, Milk. Thanks.
Mr. Croft, what are your thoughts on today's game?
Steady game. Played well. Got the result in the end, didn't we?
Any outstanding performances, you think?
Probably Austin and Rich Cowan up front.
Yeah, Cowan had a little cameo role, didn't he, up front?
He did.
A few contentious issues there. What did you make on the corner stroke, not corner?
Oh, it was definitely corner.
Well, excellent. Thanks for joining us anyway. Brazier, what are your thoughts on today's game?
It's been a good comeback for Ash.
Is that the only positive you're taking out of today's game then?
Yeah, that's about it.
What do you think about your performance? Do you think you played well?
Did one good save.
One good save, that's it, okay. Thank you for joining us. Phil, what did you make of that cameo role up front that you had?
You are a dirty bastard.
What's wrong with that?
If it was official rules, you would be banned forever.
What do you make of your...
You're a dirty fucking bastard.
What did you make of your striking role?
It was...
He's talked it over the way. For the podcast, what did you make of that game?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Felt like we started off well.
It sounds like
then,
and
then it went to shit.
You're pleased with your team's performance?
I have no comments.
The one big talking point, it's got to be the corner stroke, not corner, was it a corner?
What's it for?
The Nick Bater stroke Austin argument over the corner.
Comes to something. I have clue it.
That's it then.
As you heard there, some interesting comments from the group of lads at the AFL. The talking point of the night was still dominating the proceedings as we left and drove away. As you heard in that commentary there, the car horn was belonging to Simon Edge, which he thought was hilariously funny, which I actually thought was quite good. Sadly, I couldn't use that to bleep out all of the expletives which Phil put into his remarks at the end of the game, so I just faded them out instead. I think that one thing that's taught us in this podcast is that if we're going to do outside broadcasts, we need to get a better recording quality. Using the old mobile phone is certainly not the future. So if Craig ought to dib into the AFL pot and buy a digital recording device, then we can have some stereo sound. Right then, let's move on with the next part of the show. Coming next is a brand new feature. This is something you'll love. It's a chance to win some big prizes and it's open to everyone. Find out more next. Hat-Trick Hero on the AFL. A new interactive game you're sure to love. Hat-Trick Hero is a new AFL game which is free to play and open to anyone. Simply predict the scores from the 3 local fixtures chosen, and if all are proved to be correct, then you will win a free week of football with the AFL. Simply post your score predictions on the AFL official Facebook page below this week's Hat-Trick Hero image. If you're not a member of the AFL Facebook page, simply click to join. It's free to join and open to everyone. Predictions will close 1 hour before the first of the 3 games that have been selected take place. the decision of the AFL Organising Committee is final. If, on the off chance, more than one person correctly predicts the results of all 3 games, then the winner will be selected by a random process of pulling names from a hat. The winner must claim their free game of football for the following week of football. This week's chosen games on Hat Trick Hero are Stoke City versus Liverpool, Port Vale versus Bradford, and Crewe Alexandra versus Tranmere. So underneath, remember to post the score that you think for each of the games. It's free to play, so why not get involved and enjoy Hat Trick Hero today. Now I'm really excited. This is a brand new feature that we're launching today. We're going to take a look at some of the rumours that are knocking around the AFL. And this feature, of course, is called
Tell Me Lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Yes, Tell Me Lies. This feature is all about looking at what rumours exist around the AFL. And this week the big rumour that's knocking around is centring around sponsorship of the AFL. It's believed that protracted negotiations with Lakeside Fish Bar regarding shirt sponsorship may be coming to an end. However, a certain member of the AFL with his German car company links is believed to be trying to shore up an even bigger deal that will see a German car manufacturer plastered on the front of the AFL bibs. This one could be one to watch for quite a while. Another rumour knocking around the AFL this week is that new player to join the AFL, Crofty, is allegedly asking for a pay-as-you-play deal because he believes he's bringing additional talent to the back for whichever team he plays on. This deal could spark a sudden surge in performance fees, with Sam Bowyer believed to be commanding a new deal from the AFL Paymasters. And finally this week, scandal was to hit the AFL as Big Phil Redgate was seen playing rugby, chasing the egg up the field and not football. The big powerhouse striker was seen to be playing flank half for a local rugby team and believed to be suggesting that rugby is a better sport than football. Unbelievable news from the AFL.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Now for another new feature on the AFL podcast. I don't know how we do it. I am spoiling you this week with this sort of information, aren't I? I bet you are on the edge of your seat with excitement. I know I am, and I'm only in the studio. Okay, we're going to bring you a player profile, but not just one, we're going to bring you 2. This week we caught up with Mighty Beast that's known as Phil Redgate, and he's going to be our first player profile. And then we also caught up with the new daddy, Benjamin Amos, who last week was celebrating his birthday, but this week he's telling us all about himself in the AFL player profiles. Don't just get 1, get 2 when you listen to our podcast. Here they are, back to back.
Right, we're joined by Phil today. Phil, what's your favourite position?
Doggy.
On the football pitch?
Doggy. Attacking the field when I was fit.
Now, obviously this question's a bit topical. Who's the worst player you played with?
Me.
I was the worst player on our team. Yeah. Who's the best player you played with and why?
Oh, pure striking, probably Austin.
Excellent, that's interesting.
Is it Crofty?
Crofty, yeah, new player.
Back. He's fucking wonderful.
Do you believe in smoking or non-smoking?
I'm having a fag whilst you're talking to me, so that's all.
Drink or not drink?
Yes.
Gamble or not gamble?
I don't gamble.
Drive?
If my missus will let me get out in the car.
I was going to say, next question, married, single or marital status?
Taken.
Any kids?
1.
A name?
Logan.
And age?
14 months.
He's thinking of that, there we go. Our final question, this is the hardest one probably. If there was one thing you could do to improve the football at Alsager Football League, what would it be?
Get a ref.
Excellent, thank you, Phil. Joined by Ben Amos here for a player profile. Ben Amos, favourite position?
Yeah. Arse.
On a football pitch?
Centre half.
Do you drive? Yes.
What card do you have?
2.
Best player you played with and why?
Adam Williams.
Why?
Because he'd swap me for say otherwise.
Worst player you played with and why?
Brace.
Why's that?
Because I love him to bits.
What do you think has been the most creative thing you've seen on a football pitch in the Alsager Football League?
Me coming back.
Yeah, Ashley coming back.
What's been the most comical moment you've seen?
Your tackling.
Phil going for goal.
Who do you think is the best goalkeeper?
Beautiful.
Maybe it was his mate Liam.
Who do you think's the worst goalkeeper?
Myself.
Oh, very diplomatic. Are you married, single?
Engaged.
Engaged? Any children?
1.
How old?
3 months.
And a name or his name?
Esme.
Excellent. And last question, the hardest question for you. If there's one thing you could do to improve the football, what would it be?
Ban you.
Thank you for joining us.
Some fantastic player profiles there. Thank you to Ben Amos and Phil Redgate for allowing us a little bit into their lives to find out a little bit more about themselves. Hopefully you enjoyed them. Sorry about the audio quality. Like I said, outside broadcasting equipment isn't too good. However, we'll put measures in place to rectify that next time. Bad language is being filtered out hopefully along the way there. And hopefully look out for some more player profiles coming soon. If this podcast is actually popular and I can be bothered to make another one, as it is quite time consuming. Okay, let's move on with the next feature of the show. The AFL Rules of the Game! Yes, today we're going to be looking at some rules of the game. We're going to start with looking at the rule of handball. Now, I was hoping today to be joined by a referee who was going to explain the rules. However, sadly, at the time of recording, I've not heard back from him, so I was unable to get him into the studio. However, in the future, I would hope to be able to use a referee to explain these points of law. A highly controversial rule in the AFL appears to be the handball rule, which is generally misunderstood by many players, including Richard Cowan. So for the purposes of Richard Cowan, and many others who do not understand this rule, we will explain it quite clearly. Handball is clearly defined as having to be intentional. That word intentional means that you have to mean to use your hand and direct it towards the ball. However, there appears to be new guidance which is being handed out to referees to decide whether a handball is intentional, such as, does the attacking player or defending player gain a large advantage from handling the ball? But when deciding this, what you have to consider what the speed of the ball was, and more importantly, where were the arms of the player? So if they are standing in a natural or natural position, so when heading a ball, it'd be fair to assume that hands may leave the side of their body, however should not be raised above their head. Unless, of course, they may be stretching, because, you know, that could happen where somebody is just stretching as they jump. Or, of course, in more prominent positions in the AFL, a defender may use their hand to control the ball and prevent a goal-scoring opportunity. That would be handball. Or if a striker scored a goal because the ball ricocheted off their hand and fell back to the feet of themselves or another player. But clearly this rule is misunderstood. The largest and most prominent, important area of this law is it has to be intentional. Join us next week when we'll look at another rule of football and explain it clearly and concisely for our members of the AFL. Okay, we've got something really special for you and something really exclusive this evening as part of our final feature on the AFL Shows podcast. After a game of football, have you ever wondered what one of your star players gets up to? We decided to join one star as he headed off home after a tough workout in the AFL. We joined him in the bathroom as he took a bath. Let's have a listen to how his bath went.
No, nice footing, they're all nice and hot. And in there again. Oh, excellent. Oh, settle down. Stretch out the leg. Oh. And where's Mr. Ducky?
And sadly, at that point, we have to leave it because he got a little bit, well, we won't say with Ducky, he was getting a bit excited. So, we obviously had the privilege there to join our star footballer in the bath. It's quite amazing, really, what we've had in this podcast today. We've had player profiles, we've had player interviews, we've reviewed the game, we've looked at the rules of football, we've launched a brand new game, and not only that, we've joined the player in the bath. So now we know what our star players do after a big, hard game of football. Thanks for joining us this week on the AFL Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please visit our Facebook page. Make sure you just search for the Alsager Football League on Facebook. Join our group and get involved in our hat-trick hero game. And remember, you're always welcome to come and join us on a Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. The Friendly Football League, the Alsager Football League, otherwise known as the AFL. See you next time, and thanks for listening.
This has been an official AFL production, brought to you in association with Lakeside Fish Bar, and shared with you via the official AFL Facebook page. Don't forget to post your comments in the area below, so that we can use these in future shows. Also, more importantly, don't forget to join us every Tuesday evening at Alsager Leisure Centre on the AstroTurf at 8 p.m. for your weekly game of friendly football.